Of course, Ed Bouchette, who covers the Steelers, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He's with us here on CBS Sports Radio, Tiki and Tierney. So, Ed, fans obviously in the fantasy age and, you know, the highlight reel, you focus on the wideouts and the running backs and the points and the quarterback, but Pouncey going down for a while clearly is a problem. Just how much does it compromise what they're trying to do, do you think, for the first part of the season?
Well, Pouncey is special in that he pulls and he gets out to that second level on the linebackers to block, and they're not going to be able to do that as much anymore. You know, there's a reason he's a two-time All-Pro and four-time Pro Bowler. So they have Cody Wallace. They like him as a backup. Now he's got to start. The rest of their line, that was kind of one of the storylines going in, that their line remained relatively intact last year for the first time in a long time, and they had everybody back. Well, now they lose Pouncey at least for what appears to be at least half a season. So it may affect their running game a little bit. I don't know about the protection as much, but certainly the running game.
Yeah, we know that Le'Veon Bell is going to miss a game at the start of the season. But what does this do for the perception that they're going to be as explosive an offense as Ben Roethlisberger predicted, scoring 30 points a game? When you look at all the talent there, and it's actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, I don't think we're talking about a big reduction in that kind of ability from them. They lose a blocker, they lose their best one, but they think they can overcome that, and they do have, Le'Veon Bell, Ben Roethlisberger, and your man previewing this called him Antonio Bryant, which was kind of a neat way to combine two receivers, Antonio Brown and Martavis Bryant.
Exactly.
But they have the receivers, and Heath Miller. They really do have a excellent offense, one of the best they've ever had.
So are you a writer or are you an editor?
I just caught that. I mean, I'm listening. He goes, Antonio Bryant. I go, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, I'm just messing with you. Eddie, listen, you've been around long enough. You know that it's not so much who you play, but when you play him. And who knows week 1, who knows week 4, who's hurt, who's out, whether there's a million variables. But at first glance, the first start of the season, man, outside of the Niners game in week 2, there's not many breaks. So for those who don't know, at the Pats on Thursday, Niners at the Rams, Ravens, at San Diego, the Cardinals, and at Kansas City, which is a great venue. That's a tough way to start the season.
Yeah, they had one of the easiest schedules last year based on, wins, losses, and one of the toughest this year. So having won the division, they had the Patriots. Now, you just mentioned it, when they catch them. Well, they could get lucky here with the Patriots if the Tom Brady suspension stands up. They won't have to face him, and he has had their number through the years, especially up there in New England. They've never beaten him up there.
No, because they bugged the locker rooms. That's why. You know that, Ed.
Yeah, that's right. But and then they have San Francisco at home, and they move on. It's a process of who knows what's going to happen to some other teams that they might be down when they play them. Hey, this team, they won the division last year by losing to Tampa Bay at home and at the New York Jets, which seems almost an impossibility, but they did.
Ed, when you look at the defensive side of the ball, they lost some of the, I guess, iconic defensive players over the years. Troy retired, so did Ike Taylor and Jason Worrells. They draft Bud Dupree. Is there enough there to not force this offense to have to score 30 points a game?
That's the big question. That's the one everybody wants answers to, including their coaches. They don't know. They have transitioned from what had been great defenses in this century that helped them win Super Bowls and division titles and enter the playoffs and have only one losing season. Ben was a big part of that, but so was their defense, and they've lost all those guys. I mean, Lawrence Timmons is the only one back, and James Harrison. And James is not projected to be a starter, although he's playing like one right now in the preseason. So there are a lot of new guys in there, a lot of first-round picks, especially at linebacker. Bud Dupree, Jarvis Jones, Ryan Shazier, all first-round picks the last 3 years. They're hoping those guys can, grow up real quick.
And generally for the Steelers, they eventually do. That's how they draft for the most part. Ed Bouchette, Ed, we know you have a show you're getting ready for. Appreciate a couple of minutes. We'll be chatting during the season. Thank you.
All right, fellas. Thanks for having me.
You got
Take
it,
care.
man. From the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Ed